Hello everyone, and welcome to your Sawgrass new user onboarding. In today's session, I'm going to be introducing you to important information that you need to know about your Sawgrass printer, while also walking you through the different programs and applications available to you as a Sawgrass user. The goal for today's session is to give you everything you need to get started using your Sawgrass printer. Upon completion of today's session, you will understand how to create a project within our design tool, print that project using the Sawgrass Print Utility software, and also post that project for sale on our online in-house sales platform. Also in this session, I will introduce everyone to important information and different education resources so that as you go forward with your Sawgrass printer, you have all the tools that you need to be successful. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Let's get started. The first thing I would actually like to discuss with you today is going to be the Sawgrass website. For those of you who have not visited this site, I definitely encourage you to do so, as this will serve as the starting point for a lot of the things that you'll do as a Sawgrass user. Specifically, this is going to be where you access the MySawgrass platform, which you can see right here in the top right-hand corner of the site. But also here on sawgrassinc.com, you will find a variety of different resources and tools that you can use to further your sublimation skills, including our education page, as well as the customer service portal. We'll talk a little bit more about the website later on in today's session, but for now, I'm going to hit MySawgrass, and we are going to get started with our project. Once you've accessed MySawgrass, you are then going to go up here into the top left-hand corner, and we're going to start today's session with our design tool. When it comes to starting a project with the design tool, there's two ways that you can go about doing this. And the first option you have here is the ability to select a product from our product library. And when it comes to selecting a product, as you can see, you can choose from a series of templates that are able to serve as the basis for whatever project you want to work on. When it comes to these templates, you'll notice that there's clothing items, home decor, different accessories, drinkware, but this is actually just the featured page. There are quite a few categories available for you to choose from. If you do decide to select one of these templates, it will then load that template into the design tool and serve as the foundation for your project. That way, as you go through the design process, you'll see what your design looks like on the respective template that you choose. So if you were to choose a coffee mug, you'll see what your project is going to look like on a coffee mug, or a tumbler, a pillowcase, whatever it is that you choose. The other way that you can start a project here is by selecting this custom canvas option down here underneath the product gallery. The custom canvas option allows you to go in and create a template with the dimensions and shape that you need specifically for your project. And the easiest thing to think about here is that if you cannot find the template you need within our product library, you can always create your own template right down here. That being said, for my project today, I'm going to choose this 15-ounce ceramic coffee mug template, and before I hit apply, I just want to hit the information button so that you can all see each of these templates comes with a description page that walks you through a brief set of details about the template, as well as the print size, the volume of this drinkware, and some other important information as well. I will then hit use this, let my product template load here into the design tool, and we will get started. Once we have our template loaded into the design tool, we are then going to use the toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen to bring whatever creative vision that we have for our project to life. We're going to go through each of these tools today, but I'd actually like to start up here with the Elements tab. You can begin to think of this Elements tool as kind of the creation tool within our design program. And there's a couple different subcategories here, including the graphics library, the backgrounds tool, as well as the shapes tool. And for my project today, I would like to start with the background. When it comes to backgrounds within the design program, there are two different types of backgrounds that you can work with. You have the option of working with solid colored backgrounds as well as patterned backgrounds. With the solid color options, you can go in here and choose from some preset color swatches, or you can always use this advanced color tool to really expand your color choices. When it comes to using that advanced color tool, simply use the spectrum tool and the spot tool together to get whatever shade of color you need for your project. For example, if you're looking to have a specific shade of green, simply use this spectrum tool to go in here, choose that family of colors, then using the spot tool, you can navigate the different shades that are available and get the perfect shade of green for your project. Please note that as you're changing the color of anything here within our design tool, you're going to have access to a lot of different color options, as well as these advanced color tools, and also the ability to work with different color codes as well. So you're always going to have full control over the colors within your project and can make whatever color changes you need at any time. In addition to those solid colors, there are also plenty of patterned backgrounds available for you within this program. And these patterned backgrounds are a bit more fully developed in their artwork. They come with different styles and different themes to them, as you can see. And you can explore these patterns as I'm doing by simply scrolling through them. But if you're ever looking for something specific, you can use this search bar and filtering tool to navigate the different collections that are available as well. A couple other things to note when it comes to these patterns is you're not limited to just what's here. If you have your own patterns, it's very easy to upload any of the supported file types that are listed here, bring in that material and make it the background for your project at any time. The other important thing that I'd like to point out here is that on some of these patterns, you'll notice this little diamond symbol in the bottom right-hand corner of the pattern. You'll see that as we go through today's session, but that little symbol indicates that that particular piece of media is a part of the premium version of our design program. So as you go forward using this tool, if you see that little diamond symbol, please note you will need the premium version of our program to take advantage of that material. For today though, we're going to stick with predominantly the free material, and I actually like this dark green color, so I'm going to keep that as the background for my project. I will go back now, and we're going to jump into the graphics library. The graphics library is a portfolio of different design pieces and different clip art decorations that you can add to your project at any time. And just like before with the different patterns, there are a lot of different collections and categories that you can choose from here. But this time, I am going to use that filtering tool to go in here and let's choose the autumn collection. We'll do Halloween since it is currently October while I'm filming this. And let's also choose flowers and plants and then hit apply. Once I use that filtering tool, it will go through and remove everything not related to the categories that I chose, and it's going to leave me with a lot of different graphic options to choose from. You can scroll through these different graphics and explore them however you see fit, but if you ever come across a graphic that you want to add to your project, it is simple as clicking on the graphic and allowing it to populate into your template just like that. Now, once you add a graphic to your project, there is a lot you can do to customize and edit that graphic. The first thing I'd like for everyone to be aware of is that you do have the option to manually reposition your graphic wherever you want in your template, so you can place it wherever it needs to be. But from there, you can also rotate the graphic put it on any kind of angle that you need to do so. You have the option to manually enlarge and shrink your graphic, and you can even delete your graphic at any point if you need to do so. In addition to those manual tools, over here on the right-hand side of the screen, there are some additional positioning, alignment, and layering tools available for you as well. That way, anytime you're adding any graphics or really any material to your project, you will be able to exercise full control over the positioning, placement, depth, and dimension of those graphics within your project. Furthermore, on the left-hand side over here, there are some more precise sizing tools and even more positioning and alignment tools available to you. But I do want you to know that you have full control over the colors within the graphic as well. So if at any point you see a graphic you like, but you want to make some adjustments to the colors within that graphic, you can simply select it, come here, choose the appropriate color that you want to change. Let's say instead of this sandy brown color, I want it to be something else. I can choose that, explore all the different color options that are available. And let's say I want this to be kind of like a dark purple. I can go in here, find the color I want, click on it. It will change it within the graphic. That's still a little too bright for what I want. So I'm going to use that advanced color tool to get to be as much darker purple, just like that. So at this point, you have the ability to continue editing your graphic however you need to do so. You can also come in here, add more graphics to your project, or if you ever want to do so, you can duplicate and add more copies of the same graphic into the project as well. For my example today, I'm actually going to delete this graphic. I'm going to go back now, and we are going to now access the Shapes tool. When it comes to shapes, you have a couple different options available to you within our design program. With the standard version of this application, you're going to get access to some basic shapes. This includes your circles, squares, triangles, stars, hearts, things of that nature. The nice thing about the Shapes tool is that these shapes work exactly like those graphics that we were just playing with. So if you see a shape that you want to add to your project, it is as simple as clicking on that shape and allowing it to populate into your project just like that. Now, once you've added the shape to your project, as you can see on the right-hand side, you have those same positioning, alignment, and layering tools available. On the left-hand side, you have the same sizing, positioning, and color tools available. I just like to reiterate that because the interface of our design program does stay very consistent throughout, so you always know what tools you have access to. One other nice feature of the Shapes tool that I personally like to take advantage of is the ability to use any of the shapes as a mask for your project. And if you're not familiar with that concept, this allows you to go in here and upload a picture or artwork into the cutout of whatever shape that you're using. So if you have a picture of a loved one or a pet, whatever it may be, you can click on that image, upload it, and it will fill into the cutout of the shape just like that. As you add different images into different shapes, you do have the ability to expand and compress those images. You can also reposition them with these arrow keys at any point as well. That Shapes tool is a very nice feature to add some personality and character to your overall design, and it does work with all of the different shape options available, including the different specialty shapes and the different numbering and lettering options that are available to you as well. The next tool that we can take advantage of here is the Upload File tool. The Upload File tool will allow you to bring in images, graphics, or media off of your computer and add that material to your project at any time. As you can see, there's a series of supported file types listed here that are compatible within our design program. In order to bring this material in, simply hit the Upload Image, select the material that you would like to upload. It will then ask you to put that file into one of your My Gallery categories. You can add categories and organize these however you see fit, but once you do so, it will apply the media to your project just like that, and from here, it will also save a copy of that file for future use as well. Feel free to upload any material that you would like and start building your library of different content right here. In addition to the visual elements that you'll find here within the design program, there is also a fonts tool that allows you to add any text or wording into your project very easily. Whenever you wish to add text to your project, simply come here to the text box and type out whatever you wish to say into your project. Once you've typed out whatever words or messages you want for your project, you can then go through and customize those fonts very easily. On the right-hand side of the screen, I will point out that we have many of those familiar positioning, alignment, and layering tools available to us. And then on the left-hand side of the screen, there are some fun things that you can do to personalize your fonts. The most important thing that everyone should be aware of is that we do have several hundred different font styles right here within the design program that you can take advantage of at any time. These different font styles can be sorted through by simply scrolling, or you can always use the search bar and filtering tool, just like we've done previously. But if you come across a font style that's interesting to you, simply click on that font and it will change within your project in real time, just like that. Now, in addition to choosing from the different font styles that we have available here, I would also like to point out that there is the ability to upload your own fonts here within the design tool. This particular upload feature is a part of the premium version of this program. To be clear, all of the other upload options are free to use, but if you want to upload your own fonts into this program, you will need the premium version to do so. Once you change the style of the font, you of course can go in here, adjust the sizing, you can space your letters out, you can even change the color and outline color of your fonts with all of the familiar color options that we've seen previously. And then you do have the ability to build different effects into your font, such as wavy features, curvature, diagonal aspects, all while controlling how pronounced those effects are as well. Another fantastic feature of our design program that's available to you is actually the Designs tool itself. Over here on the left-hand side, down towards the bottom of this toolbar, is going to be where you find that Designs tool. As it mentions, these are ready-to-use templates that you can add to your project at any time. These templates are going to come complete with a variety of different elements already built into the template itself. They're going to have graphics, shapes, fonts, images, patterns, all sorts of different material already available. Just like everything else we've seen today, there are a lot of different collections available for you here. In fact, we do add quite a bit of material into this Designs tool for you to take advantage of. But if you ever see a design that you do want to add to your project, it is as simple as clicking the design and allowing it to populate into your template just like that. Now, once you've added a design to your project, you still have full creative control over the design itself. So if you'd like to go in here and make any kind of color changes to the graphics of this design, you can easily do that. You can reposition, resize, remove any of those graphics as well. You can even go in here, adjust the fonts, change them change what they say, the style, all of that. It's very easy to take any of these designs, add them to your project, and then make whatever tweaks and adjustments you need to do so to fit in with the overall project vision you have for your project. Another important piece of information to consider when it comes to these designs, and really all of the material within our design tool, is that this material is available for Sawgrass users to take advantage of. That means if you want to add any of this content to any of your projects and then print, produce, and sell that material, you are well within your rights to do so. We do encourage you and we welcome you to come into this design tool, explore the different categories of material, and take advantage of that material however you see fit. The last feature that I would like to discuss today is what's known as My Gallery. Your gallery is where all of your uploaded material can be found and be saved and organized for future use. So if you do end up bringing any content from your computer here into the design program, you only need to upload things one time and you can conveniently access them through My Gallery. The other nice feature of the gallery is the designs folder that's available to you here. When you finish projects within the design tool and you hit print or save and print, it's going to save a completed copy of your design work into this designs folder so that you have convenient access to that artwork in the future. That way, if you ever want to come in here and use a design that you previously created, you can simply come in, click on the design, and it will then replicate that design onto your new template just like that. You may need to make some sizing adjustments to the overall design layout, but this way you never need to recreate your designs from scratch and you always have access to your artwork. Now that we have finished going through all of the available tools within the MySawgrass design program, it is time for us to move on from this application. Whenever you're ready to do so, come up here in the top right-hand corner of the screen and click Save and Print. It will then prompt you to give your design a name, as well as choose the appropriate category within My Gallery for this project. Once you hit Save as New, we will then leave the MySawgrass design tool and transition into the online in-house sales platform available to you within MySawgrass. We're briefly going to talk about what that sales tool can do and go through some of the capabilities of that, and then we will be sending our project over into Sawgrass Print Utility so we can discuss the print software. Now that we've finished our project and hit Save, it's going to bring us to what's known as the product details page. The product details page is what you can use to set your product up for sale if you were interested in doing so. Even if you don't have any plans on selling your product, I do think it's important for everyone to understand the capabilities of this page. At the top, we of course have our product name. This is the cat mug as we just named it back within the design tool. It does require you to give your product a description here. You can be as detailed as you'd like. I'm just going to write the word coffee mug to fulfill the requirement here. The next thing to take advantage of are these hashtags for social media marketing. You can use these to kind of get the word out about your product on a variety of different sources. And then you will come to the pricing tool where you can set the price of your product to whatever you want it to be when selling your product on the storefront. A few other things that you can take advantage of on this page are the ability to make your product customizable. So if you ever want to offer your customers the ability to make design changes to the product, you can build that option in for them if you're interested in doing so. The other option here that will allow you to further manage and market your product is the ability to give products a variety of different looks and presentations. That way, when the project is posted for sale to the storefront, rather than a sterile white background with no features to it, you can give the product a look so it looks more like what it will look like in real life. From here, there's a couple different ways you can move on from this page, and you'll find those in the top right-hand corner of the screen. If you have no intention of selling your product, I recommend hitting this Save button. This button will save your project to what's known as your studio, and when it's saved to your studio, it's not for sale in any way, shape, or form. It's just there for your personal and private access only. The Print button here will send the project over into Sawgrass Print Utility. We'll come back and do that in just a moment, but for the time being, we're going to post this project for sale to our storefront, and we're going to talk about some of the capabilities and options available to you if you decide to sell your products. Once we have posted our project for sale, we will be brought to the profile page of MySawgrass. Within the profile page is going to be where you can find both the store as well as the studio. Your store will be where you are housing all the projects and products that you are attempting to sell here within MySawgrass. Please note that underneath each individual product within the store, you will find a couple of tools that you can use to further manage your products. These tools include the sharing tool, which allow you to get the word out about your product to whoever and wherever you want, as well as the editing tool, which gives you the option to go back into the design program and make design changes to the product. You can always re-access the product details page, and you can delete creations off of your storefront if ever needed to do so. Next to the store is the studio, and as previously mentioned, your studio is where you can save projects for your personal and private use only. There will be no price attached to these, no sharing tool, but you do have the same editing options available for your projects. A few other things to know when it comes to your profile page is, if you prefer, you have the ability to share the entirety of your profile to a variety of different sources. You can, of course, edit your profile and design and personalize it however you see fit, and you also have the ability to launch new creations within the design program from this page as well. Another important feature to be aware of when working here within the profile page is going to be the account settings button here in the top right-hand corner. This is especially important for those of you who are interested in selling your products within MySawgrass, as underneath your account settings, you will find a variety of different business and logistic tools that will help you when managing your storefront. The first of the tools available to you within the account settings is going to be the dashboard. Your dashboard is where you can find important information pertaining to your MySawgrass storefront, including a breakdown of all the orders that you've completed using that storefront, the current production status of ongoing orders, as well as the ability to track important financial information, including the revenue you've created using your sales platform, the total lifetime earnings of those sales, as well as the current balance of the next available batch of payouts that are due to you. From here, there's a few other tools to be aware of within your account settings. Underneath the dashboard, you can find your order history, and within your order history, you'll find a complete breakdown of everything that you have purchased from other people's stores, as well as the things that customers have purchased off of your storefront. From here, if you're looking for more information about current orders that are in the process of being fulfilled, underneath your production tool and underneath My Orders, you can find a logistics tool that will allow you to stay organized throughout all of your orders from start to completion throughout that fulfillment process. Please also note, when it comes to production, you will need to come into the production tool and turn on your producer settings. This includes opening yourself up for production as well as turning on self-fulfillment. Until you do this, your storefront actually appears closed to potential customers. So it is important to come here to this page and turn these settings on when you are ready to start accepting orders. Now that we have finished discussing the different account settings available to you within MySawgrass, it is time for us to go back to our storefront and send our project to Sawgrass Print Utility. Whenever you are ready to print any of the projects listed on your store or your studio, you will come here to that editing button, go to the product details page, and then in the top right-hand corner, you will select print, and this will send your project to Sawgrass Print Utility. Please make sure that you don't have any pop-up blockers, as that can interfere with this process, but this will send our cat mug design over into the print software. We will now talk about what Sawgrass Print Utility is, how to use it, and the different settings and features available to you within that software. Now that we have sent our design over here into Sawgrass Print Utility, we are ready to set this project up to be printed. Before we do that, there are a few things I do want to go over with you in regards to Sawgrass Print Utility. First and foremost, unlike the MySawgrass platform that we have been working in so far, Sawgrass Print Utility is an application that does need to be downloaded to your computers. If you have not yet done so, I will show you where to go and how to do that in just a moment, but it is important that this application is downloaded properly onto your computer. The second thing to be aware of is that Sawgrass Print Utility serves as the virtual print manager for your Sawgrass printer. Essentially what that means is that this is the tool that you are going to use to communicate information to your printer. It is very important that all of the projects that you wish to print using your Sawgrass printer make their way here into Sawgrass Print Utility so the appropriate job settings and formatting settings can be applied to those projects. We're going to walk through those settings step by step now. Let's get started. The first of the settings that we will be discussing here within Sawgrass Print Utility are going to be the formatting and layout settings available to you. These settings are where you can go in and adjust things like the size of the design that you're printing. You can also adjust things like the DPI or dots per inch of your project. You have the ability to rotate your design on the page if you ever need to do so, and you can also repeat multiple copies of a design on the same piece of paper as well. As you start working here with your formatting settings, I do want to point out that when it comes to changing the size of a design, I do recommend breaking this little chain symbol in between these options. That way you can adjust height and width independently of one another. As everyone starts working here within Sawgrass Print Utility, I do want you to be aware that there are information buttons built in throughout this application that will walk you through the different settings available to you. That way, as you're getting comfortable using this program, you can always refer back to those information buttons. As we scroll down, the next thing we're going to come to here within Sawgrass Print Utility is our print settings, and more specifically our job settings. This is the important information that you need to communicate to your printer so that you have the appropriate output for whatever project you're working on. The first of the job settings listed here is the ability to turn the mirror setting on and off. Most sublimation projects do need to be mirrored, but if you ever need to turn this setting off, it is as simple as unchecking that box there. For those of you who have silhouette brand cutters, you could add registration marks to your project at this point. You also have the ability to add bleed to your design if you ever need to do that as well. I'm going to hit this center on page button just so that you all can see. As you start making job setting changes to your project, your print preview will reflect those changes. As we scroll down, we are going to come to a variety of different menu tabs available to you. The first of these is the product selection list. This product selection list is where you will choose the material or substrate that you are going to be pressing your design onto. Different materials do require varying amounts of ink, so it is important to come here and choose the right material for your project, in this case, ceramic. Once you've chosen the appropriate product material, you will then choose the appropriate media size or paper size for your project. We have some pretty common ones built in here, such as letter paper, legal paper, and different sizes of mug paper. But if you're ever working with something a little bit unique, you do have the ability to create your own custom paper sizes, name them whatever you'd like, set your dimensions, and save it for future use as well. Next thing you'll see here is media type. This is a little bit different. This is actually referring to the brand of sublimation paper that you're working with. And once again, we do have some common ones built into this list here. But if you don't see your particular brand of sublimation paper on this list, just know that type A and type B are the two most common coatings that go on sublimation paper, and most likely anything you purchase will fall into one of these categories. Our best recommendation in that situation, just do a test print with each of these options selected and do a side-by-side comparison to find out which one works best for you. But remember, there are information buttons here to walk you through stuff like that. The last of the menu tabs available here is going to be where you can choose your media source. For those of you who have option trays or bypass trays, this is where you can communicate to the printer to pull paper from those locations. If you do not have an option tray or a bypass tray, you can simply leave your media source as tray 1. At the very bottom of your job settings, you can also adjust your print orientation here. You can choose what pages you're printing. If you have multiple projects open, you also have the ability to adjust the amount of copies that you're printing of a particular project. And of course, the print button itself is always down here. That's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to scroll right on back up here, and we are going to now jump into our color management tab. When it comes to color management here within Sawgrass Print Utility, you have a couple different color modes available to you. The first of these color modes is photographic. The photographic color mode is ideal for when you are attempting to print out lifelike or photorealistic colors onto a project. This is the color mode that we would recommend using when printing out anything that is captured with a camera. Vibrant, on the other hand, is going to saturate the design with more color, and this is going to be the color mode we recommend when working with computer-generated material or graphic images. If you are ever needing to print out a black and white version of your design, the grayscale option will allow you to do that by removing color altogether from the project. If needed, you can further configure the grayscale by adjusting brightness, hue, saturation, and contrast to get whatever shades of gray you need for your black and white design. The last of the color modes here within Print Utility is the ability to create your own custom color configurations. And on this page, you can build out color tones however you need to do so, while also adjusting brightness, hue, saturation, and contrast. You can build these configurations, save them, load them, and apply them to any of the designs that you bring here within Sawgrass Print Utility. These 4 different color modes are here for you to maximize the color potential of your projects and allow you to have full control over the colors that are applied to your sublimation designs. Once you have chosen the appropriate job settings and the appropriate color mode for your project, you should be ready to send your design over to the printer. For our example today, there's a few other things I wish to discuss here in Sawgrass Print Utility, and the main thing that I would like to review with you all is going to be the application settings of this program. When it comes to working with these application settings, I would remind you that we do have information buttons built into these different settings to help walk you through everything. But underneath your Devices tab, this is going to be where you can further manage your printers. You can check your ink levels here, your waste tray level is displayed here as well, and then underneath Printer Utilities, you can perform some diagnostic things if ever necessary. Underneath the Page Sizes tab, you can further manage the different paper options that you're working with. You can mark certain paper sizes as default, remove unused ones from this list, and add custom paper sizes from this page as well. The main thing I wanted to discuss with you underneath the application settings is the Send to Sawgrass Print Utility function. To be very clear, when it comes to printing through this application, you are not exclusively reserved to the design tool that we were working with inside of MySawgrass. You have the ability to print from a variety of different sources and studios while using Sawgrass Print Utility, and the way you will do that is by taking advantage of this function right here. What's going to happen is once you've downloaded this program to your computer, it's going to add a Send to Sawgrass Print Utility option underneath your list of printers. That way, if you ever find yourself working in another design program such as, let's say, Adobe or Cricut Design Space, Corel, whatever you prefer, you will have the ability to File, Print, select this option here, and send your completed designs from those studios over here into Sawgrass Print Utility, where you can then set up all of the appropriate settings that we just discussed and then print your project. I would recommend, especially for new users, to come to this page, scroll down, and make sure Automatically Print is unselected. If Automatically Print is selected, it will actually send the project directly to the printer with the settings listed on this page. You're welcome to take advantage of that feature, but for new users, I recommend getting in the habit of letting Sawgrass Print Utility open so you can continuously set up the settings as you go along. Another way that you can bring projects into Sawgrass Print Utility is by importing projects directly. In order to do that, simply come here to the top left-hand corner, hit the Create button, which will open a new tab at the top of the application, and from here, you can use this Add Files option to import any of the compatible file types that are listed here. This will allow you to go in to your computer, find the designs, projects, or images that you wish to print, import them directly into Sawgrass Print Utility, and then go through and complete the setup process. The last two features that I want to talk about today here within Sawgrass Print Utility are the Quick Print folders and this Recents tool. The Recents tool actually keeps track of recently completed projects that you've sent to your printer. That way, if you need to ever reprint any of those projects for whatever reason, rather than going through the process of importing them or sending them back over from the design tool, you can come here to your Recent Prints tool, hit Open Job, and it will reload that project with the same design, and it will reapply all of the appropriate settings to that project. So all that you need to do is hit the print button. Now that we've covered the different settings and features of Sawgrass Print Utility, I would actually like to exit this program and return back to the Sawgrass website. I have a couple other things that I want to go over with you today here on the website, but before I do that, there is some owner and operator information that I like to share during these sessions. And honestly, If you don't remember anything else I tell you today, I'd like for you to try to remember the next 3 things. Number 1, it is important for you to leave your printers plugged in and turned on at all times. If you're not already aware of this, your printers do perform a maintenance cycle on themselves every 10 hours or so, and the only way that it can perform that maintenance cycle is if the printer is plugged in and left turned on. The second thing to note is that these printers are designed to work with Sawgrass inks and Sawgrass inks exclusively. They do not work with third-party inks. In fact, third-party inks can damage your printer. They do void the warranty of your printer, and it really limits the help that we are able to provide you if something goes wrong. So please, just stick with the inks that we produce here at Sawgrass for your Sawgrass printer. The third and final thing, also related to the ink, is that whatever ink type you load into your printer initially, that will be the ink type for the lifetime of your printer. For example, if you have Sublimation ink, you will always replace it with more Sublimation ink when that time comes. You don't want to ever switch between our different ink types, as that can cause clotting issues and other problems that we want to avoid. But just to summarize all of that, if you leave your printers plugged in and turned on, you only use Sawgrass inks, and you don't switch and mix between the different inks, you are going to set yourself up for a lot of success. You're going to have great quality projects, and you're going to have really good output on the projects that you're working on. So please keep that information in mind. Back here on the website, there is some important information that I want to show you today before we wrap up. And as I mentioned at the start of the session, there's a lot of great resources and tools here to help you along with your sublimation journey. And the most important thing that everyone should be aware of is that here at the top of the website, underneath this Learn tab, you can find a variety of different education material available to you at all times. When it comes to this education material, we have a lot of different types of material for different learning styles. You can find things like our Academy, which is the video learning portal, where you can find detailed information about the programs and applications related to your Sawgrass printer. It covers much of what I cover today. If you ever need to review that content, you can do so. There's also getting started information in there and tips, tricks, and advice on how to keep your printer healthy and functioning smoothly. Over here under the Learn with Sawgrass page, you can find all of the recorded workshops that we've done over the past year. And for those unfamiliar, these workshops are guided sessions that we record where we walk through the process of designing projects within the design tool, printing those projects within Sawgrass Print Utility, and then pressing them on a variety of different templates and materials. If you're completely new to sublimation and you're looking for some guided classes on how to create certain projects, check out this Learn with Sawgrass page here in the Academy. It'll go a long way in helping you kind of learn and become comfortable when working with different templates. Going back, for those of you who might like to learn through reading rather than watching videos, I do also want to point out that we have something called the knowledge base here. The knowledge base is going to be a detailed library of written articles covering really everything you could ever need to know about your Sawgrass printer. We have a Getting Started page available to you that will walk you through setting your printer up, properly installing Sawgrass Print Utility. It also has more information about our different ink sets, paper information, and there's a heat press settings guide available for you here as well. Some other things that you might want to visit here within the knowledge base are the troubleshooting page. This covers some common issues that may come up when using your printer that you can find easy solutions to, as well as finding the technical documentation page, which is where you find your user manual, warranty guide, and then also underneath this MySawgrass page, you can find important information about the different programs and applications that we talked about today. And then the last thing to know for today, before we wrap up, is that as you go forward, if you run into any issues with your printer or any of the programs or projects you're working with are not cooperating, you do have the ability to connect with our support team at any time. In the top of the page here, you can find the support button. If you have any issue, simply come here, create a ticket, give us the information about the problem. We will then have one of our representatives reach out to you, diagnose the issue, come up with solutions to get you back on track, and then address any of the problems that you might be dealing with. So please come here, explore the website. It's built to be a very valuable tool for Sawgrass users. It is here for you whenever you need it. It is sawgrassinc.com. And with that, we are finished with today's onboarding. I do appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out to us. We are here for you. Welcome to Sawgrass. Welcome to the Sawgrass family. And I wish you great success with all of your projects. That concludes today's session. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And on behalf of everyone here at Sawgrass, I wish you great success with your sublimation journey, and also welcome to the Sawgrass family.